This is the 2026 Mercedes-Benz SL680 Maybach, and in today's Vehicle Visionary video, we're going to tell you about the advantages that it offers. The exterior color is garnet red metallic. It has a crystal white Napa leather interior, and as you can see, it looks ultra aggressive. Ultimately, it's the SL AMG 63, but it's a little bit more refined for a more comfortable and refined driving experience. Here on the front end, you can't help but notice your bright LED daytime running lights. They have that kind of a crystal look to them. We don't have them on, but you do have the LED headlights, low and high beams. All of that's going to be here. The turn signal indicators are LED. All of that's here. Normally, I would say this should be maybe a gloss black as far as where we see all of the chrome. But in this case, I think the chrome looks very nice. Everything is active here. And one thing I'm not going to do is try and count the number of Maybach emblems that are here. Not only in this area, they're on the hood. You can see that with this black area right here. They're also going to be on the convertible top. It's very interesting to see what's going on here. Now, something else that I really like here that I'm glad we can show in the showroom, I hope it shows up, is this illuminated Maybach logo right here. We'll have our grille going on here. Not an unusual look for this particular model, but I just like the lines here. You're also going to have the illuminated grille as you see the light on the outside right there. Again, I hope that shows up like it should. And something else that's a little unusual, we don't see too often on most vehicles other than the S-Class, would be the hood ornament. And then we can also see this area right here that goes right up the middle, just kind of pronounced. I like the way that looks, the way that works. You're going to have your adaptive ride, your active ride control. All that adaptive suspension is going to be here to help with a very comfortable ride quality, believe it or not. 21-inch wheels that do a good job of filling up the fender area that's opening right here and make it look really nice. It gives it an even more aggressive look as far as its stance go. Again, another one of those Maybach logos right here. Now, this is not actually an active vent of any sort, not any kind of a heat extractor or anything like that, but still looks nice. Gloss black with your mirror caps. You're going to have turn signal indicators built in. They're heated, power adjustable. All of that's going to be here. Show you your turn signal indicators. They're also power folding and blind spot monitoring built in. And something that I really like here, this is going to be something unique to this particular model, is the key fob and the color finishes that it has. It's going to have lock, unlock. You can actually take the top and bring that down or put it back up. A little bit easier to do with the interior controls than it is with the remote. It also has a panic button, and in the event that the battery in the key fob dies, or in the SL680, you have a mechanical key right here, one of those interesting little things that a lot of people may not even know is there. Now, if you want to see where that key goes, there is the lock mechanism right there. And down here on the lower portion, we're going to have this trim piece right here, again, the Maybach name as opposed to the logo, so a little bit of something that's different right there. But again, that's going to give it that lower stance, that nice low profile look. And here is our convertible top. And once again, like I said, I don't know how well you can see it on the video, but there is that Maybach logo all over this top. And how many are there? I don't know. More than I have time to count, that's for sure. And as we move our way to the back, we're going to find, once again, LED lighting with our LED tail lights, the Maybach logo prominently displayed. We'll have our Mercedes logo, SL680, to let everybody know what you're driving, because you can be guaranteed that this is going to get a lot of attention. Under the hood is no shortage of power. It's the 4-liter bi-turbo V8 that makes 577 horsepower and 590 pounds-feet of torque. It's mated to a 9-speed automatic transmission. 0 to 60 is under 3.5 seconds. Top speed is about 160 miles per hour. And, well, the MPGs with all that power and torque, depending on how you drive it, 13 city, 20 highway, 16 combined, and 6.2 gallons of gas per every 100 miles driven. And we told you about the MPGs. How about the gas tank details? Well, it's going to be 18.5 gallons in capacity. You have a gas cap as opposed to capless fuel fill. On a full tank of gas, you should be able to drive about 240 miles in the city and that number will jump to roughly 370 miles out on the highway. And a little bit more about this rear area back here. We're going to have the spoiler right here that will deploy at speed, or there's actually a setting on the center screen where you can manually deploy it or have it go back down depending on what you need to do. But it definitely gives it that more radical look to it. In my opinion, I kind of wonder if it shouldn't just come straight up like this, but it is for true aerodynamics, so this is likely the best angle possible. Now, let's talk about cargo capacity. There's not a ton of it here, but we'll show you what's here. About 8.5 cubic feet, but being that it does have that convertible top, you're going to have a lot less space. That's one thing about a cabriolet, is that it does decrease the space that you have available where that is concerned. And we're also going to find our 12-volt power outlet. Let me get my arm out of the way. There's your 12-volt power outlet. Our interior lighting, which is actually very bright on each side. You can also see one of the speakers right there. One thing that is not here, shouldn't be a big surprise again because of that lack of space, is going to be a spare tire. It will come with a tire repair kit, just one of those things to be aware of ahead of time. And you can't miss the illuminated door sill. I hope that shows up on video as well as we see it here in person in the showroom at Mercedes-Benz of Shreveport. Now let's talk about the door panel. It is definitely nice and large. The advantage of a coupe is you're going to have that larger armrest, a little bit longer, and a door bin will be there. You'll have all of your controls for the seat management right up there in the normal place for Mercedes-Benz in the shape of a seat. In case you hadn't noticed that, you'll also have your heated and ventilated seat settings. All of that's going to be there. The sticker price is $239,250. Tell me what you think about that down in the comments section. Let's see what else you get for that price. I like the illumination that we have throughout the interior with our ambient lighting, not only with the typical spots you're used to seeing, but you can also see it in the air conditioning vents because we're in a little bit of a darker atmosphere than usual. So that situation is going to be very helpful to us as far as that goes. And now we'll move over to the glove box. I don't know if that's unlocked or not. It is. So we can show that to you real quick. And you have already seen the door panel, so we don't have to worry about that. Over here on the driver's side door panel, we're going to have the nice, again, that illuminated area right there with our ambient lighting. And then we have our controls here for our window, or excuse me, side view mirrors. You can push that button right there and that will fold the mirrors in if you need to when you're still sitting in the vehicle, and you can select which mirror you're working with. You're going to have your controls right here for your windows. And if you're wondering, why does it have those controls right there? Well, that's because we have the small back windows back here. And all of that's going to automatically come down when it comes down to lowering everything with the top. It will come down automatically. You won't have to worry about anything. Again, you're going to have all of your seat control functionality right here, heated and ventilated seats, positioning, all of that is here. And there is a button right there that lets you open and close the trunk. So you don't have to worry about having to get out to do that or anything like that. There is your door panel right there with the door bin. Your controls for your exterior lighting are right here. You can leave that on auto if you want to. There's your power parking brake, and right here, the control for your power adjustable steering wheel. That way you can set everything up as you need to. And then we'll have all of our typical controls with the steering wheel mounted controls here for managing things such as the driver's display. We can go in and make changes where that is concerned. We can change how it looks depending on what we want. We can bring up navigation if we want to. It just depends on your personal desires and what information you may want to have. And all you're doing is hitting that home button right there to get to this screen in case you're curious to know how we're doing that. And then obviously everything else is here that you're used to seeing. As far as the steering wheel mounted controls go, you've got your shifter paddles on the back of the steering wheel for the 9-speed automatic transmission. Your shifter is located right here on the right-hand side of the steering column. On the left-hand side, everything for your windshield wipers and your turn signal indicators, your blinkers. Right here is where you're going to start the engine and shut it back down. The button for the auto stop start is right here, so you can turn that off. I know most of you like to do that. Now, let's take a look at our upper console real quick and just let you see what's going on up here. All of your controls for lights and stuff like that, all of those things are here. Those are actually very bright lights. It may not look like it as far as that goes, but that is the situation with that when you need to take advantage of those. Now, we'll go down to the center screen and show you what's going on there. It's not anything unusual, but I know a lot of you like to see it, so we're going to run through it real quick. There's your built-in navigation. Obviously, you can come right here and make that take up the entirety of the screen if that's what you so desire. And then we have everything for phone. You can wirelessly pair your phone. You can use Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. Radio is there. There's your media. Your MB apps are right here. You do see that you do have a dash cam. By the way, remote start is available, but it is going to be through your Mercedes Me app that will be on your cell phone. So depending on what you need to do, you know what's going on with that situation. And then we're going to come right here. You can see the camera view right there of the showroom. There are several different camera views depending on what you want to see. We're going to work our way around right here. We can go to info. Now, I don't have the vehicle running, so it's not going to show anything right now, but you can see that you got all the different details with the nice accompanying graphics. We've got the engine details right here as far as your RPM and all that good stuff goes. I do like what Mercedes-Benz does here as far as the graphics go. Settings will be right here. You can come in here to assistance, depending on what you need to do, collision avoidance, assistance, camera, all of that's going to be here. We can come over here and we can open the camera cover if we have to. Whatever you want to do there, you can do that. Vehicle, you're going to have driving, comfort, occupant protection is going to be there. You've got your open and close dynamic select is also here. And you can come in and individualize things as you see with drive. Here are your options. You've got comfort, sport, and Maybach. Suspension, going to be the same way. We come down here to steering. And we're going to have comfort and sport only where that is concerned. And light is going to be right here. You can deal with all of your different lighting elements here. You can go to our interior and exterior lighting right here, depending on how you want to set things up. Locator lights can be turned on and off. You can come to your ambient lighting right here and make quite a few changes as far as that goes. We're going to manage our settings right there. Now you have a total of 64 different colors. I always like to make sure that I show that. There we go. We can show you that. Let's go all the way to the end there if it'll let me do it. Not sure why the screen's not working. There we go. Goes to 61, and you can see how bright that blue is. It's always the brightest, but I think that red just works really well here that we had earlier in the video. But there are so many different options depending on what you want to take advantage of. In addition to that setup, you have your monochrome and you have your multicolor. And you can see what's going on where that is concerned. Let's make a couple of changes there just so you can see a little bit of the options that are here as far as your different color options and schemes go. It looks really good. I really like what's going on where that is going to take place and give you a lot of nice opportunity to customize things. And as far as energizing comfort goes, it's going to turn on the air. The massage seats will activate depending on what you want to use. And you can just turn all that off if you want to. We're going to turn the air conditioning off because we don't want to have a bunch of noise here to make it difficult for you to hear what's going on. Now, like I said, you have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. There that is. And you can see what else we're going to have here. Now, I do want to show you your camera views. There are quite a few different views around, not just a rear view camera. Depending on what you need to see, you can select. As you can see, there's the rear view. There's the front view. We've got the side view if we want to take advantage of that. All of that's going to be here. You also have your park assist. That is going to help as well. And we can come down here and push this button, and that brings up all of our vehicle details. So if you want to deploy the rear spoiler or take that and put that back down, you can do that. Your head-up display is here. I didn't talk about that earlier in the video, but you do have one that is nice and bright, and you can see some of your other options that are going to be here as well. You can also talk to the MBUX or talk to Mercedes and use tons and tons of voice commands, ask questions, get your navigation set up manually. All of that is going to be here. And then you can see what we have here as far as our dynamic select goes. You've got your different driving modes with the accompanying graphics. So we have sport. And you can come in here into individual and configure things depending on how you want things to go. You can come in and also select your driving modes like this. You can use the selector down here so you can see what all we have. There's comfort, there's Maybach. So a lot of nice functionality that you can use depending on what you want. You've got your hazard light button right there. You can turn the radio on and off, audio up and down, all that good stuff is going to be here. And then we're going to have this section right here. Your wireless charging pad is right down here. couple of USB ports, and then we're going to have our cup holders right here. We'll come right here to the center console. The Bombay doors are here, and guess what? A couple more USB ports. Now, I don't know how easy it is to look to the back seat back there. Basically, this is a two-seater. There's really not much of a back seat where that is concerned, but that is the situation as far as your space goes. A lot of adjustability built in here between the steering wheel and the driver's seat for everybody who wants to drive. And for putting your top down, this is the button to lower it. This is the button to raise it. And all you're going to do is just hold it up like this to lower. You hold it down until it's finished, and you do the same thing with the top to put it back up. And we'll show you what that looks like and how quickly it happens from the exterior. Okay, here we go. I'm going to show you how quickly this happens. Now, you're going to notice that the windows are going to drop just a little bit, and the top is going to go ahead and go down. It's actually a pretty quick action that takes care of itself in a very timely manner. I like that. Everything is automatic. You're even going to have your glass that comes up right here in the rear. So everything's here to try and help reduce wind noise as far as that goes. And I'm going to hold the button down to bring it back up just so you can see how that happens as quickly as it happens. Pretty convenient, I'd say pretty easy as far as that goes. You'll see that it's going to go into place in just a few seconds, just like that. And you have to hold that button down. As soon as your windows go back up, you know the process is complete. And there it is, the 2026 Mercedes-Benz SL680 Maybach, and all of the advantages that it offers. Pretty impressive, a lot of great features, definitely a big price tag. But for those of you that are interested, there is a link in the description of the video to the Mercedes-Benz of Shreveport website. Yeah, we're not doing a test drive today. It just came in. Trying to keep the mileage real low on it if we can, but I think you know how this drives. Definitely a lot of fun. I would like to say a special thanks to my friends at Mercedes-Benz of Shreveport for loaning us the Maybach so we could tell you all about it today in the video, and a special thanks to all of you for being kind enough to give us the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit the like button. We really appreciate that, and it is very helpful to us. Make sure to subscribe and share this video on your timelines on social media. And if you would like to learn about additional vehicles you may wish to consider purchasing, check out the video that's on the screen right now, and we'll see you there.